A must-win game for Navi, who currently sit 2 wins, 3 losses. Blitz Spirit, 3 wins, 2 losses. So a Navi win would put these two teams tied, but the big picture is you gotta climb your way up to that top 4. How are you feeling about this series?
Well, the fans obviously think that Navi, despite having the worst record so far in the group, are favored to win.
Okay.
How do I feel though? I have no idea. I think Spirit will win this game, but I'm not too confident about that.
Is that based, when you say that, based on the draft or based on them looking like the better team so far?
I think it's a very good liking game. I don't think that's like as far as it goes right now for me. I just think it's a really good liking game.
The Tidehunter is not enough to deal with this hero.
I think Tide, in fact, is like in my lane okay, but I think pace of game wise, it's really slow. Like if you mess up one Ravage DP ult combo, I think your game plan is kind of messed up. If anything, I think you can go aggro and then put your Timbersaw safe lane. I don't know if that's that bad of an idea. Like, Monkey notoriously does not love aggro lanes. It doesn't look like they're going to do that, but...
I mean, you mentioned, the Tide versus Lycan, obviously, the pace of the game not good for him, but it's also not good against, the Timbersaw, which is perhaps where there was some surprise that that Tidehunter got picked up, even though it's good on paper against Lycan, definitely not good on paper against Timbersaw.
Yeah, I think Seb actually showed that the matchup is okay once you're like, if you're really good and you hit like level 5, it's kind of dealable as Tide once you have a mask.
Just avoid the Timbersaw as much as possible. And
so there's a pretty fun interaction, like every single time you do the stat drain, by the second one or something, once you have enough levels so you're Kraken, it actually gives you back all your strength, and it's almost like it just like straight up heals you back. So then it's not that bad, because I was wondering why he wasn't losing that bad, and then somebody told me, and then I rewatched it and I agreed. That's one of the few times somebody has hit, like, PM me on Reddit and it was like an actual useful like I was like, oh, they got 4 bounties.
It's over, Will.
What the hell?
Wrap it up. Let's call it. 4 bounty runes. Game is over. Not much else to say.
Have you heard of my Exodia strat? I bring it up all the time,
Exodia.
But soon I will not be able to, so... It's where you get the first 8 bounty runes of the game and the game just ends. If you somehow give up 8 bounty runes in a row, that should be like the hidden objective of Dota. It's
like a table tennis where you used to play at 21. If someone wins like the first 7 points, it's just over. Yeah. It's like 7-0, it's over. You're not even going to play the 21 anymore.
It's like a mercy rule thing.
Yeah. That was I don't know. I think that was just a house rule that a lot of people had. But yes, the mercy rule of Dota, I guess. 8 bounties means.
I mean, 8 bounties is pretty hard to get if you think about it. 8 is a lot in a row.
Yeah. And once you've gotten 4, though.
That's very true. You're halfway there. Yeah. Dang. We're good at math.
I mean, you would force Spirit to, all in 5-man just to make sure they get 1 bounty rune.
Would that not be hype? I think that'd be pretty hype.
Imagine the game ending at 5 minutes. Just done. And like the Navi and Spirit fans just like, so it's just over?
Radiant victory.
Not sold on this idea coming into play.
Do you think about how hard that is, though? To be fair. Oh, nice snipe on the courier. Interesting setup, by the way. This is going to be a 5-position Death Prophet.
Yeah, and kind of taking the lane. Looks like Monkey King is dealing with some creep waves behind the tower. Yeah, so he's pulled this back and made creep waves meet in different places. But yeah, this is, I think, at least for Navi, the lanes we expected once we saw who was playing what hero. But Nature's Prophet mid against Lina. Why do you think they're looking to run the mid Nature's Prophet?
Because I think they need a core that paces. And I think if you have Death Prophet as well, part of the problem is that all your damage is very cooldown reliant, which I think is pretty bad. Plus, Nature's Prophet 5 sounds really bad against Timbersaw, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Is it not the same for Nature's Prophet core, though? Like, isn't it normally often worse if your core is being countered, whereas teams will put a hero into a support, or like, oh, it's countered, let's play as a support.
I think in-game he'll get like Silver Edge and stuff like that at a reasonable time. Because in lane anyways, I'm thinking about like how the treants are pretty much going to heal him.
Yes. You don't want to You definitely don't want to lane against him, which is, you know, you're playing mid. You know you're not getting that Timbersaw mid matchup, at least not at this point. Okay. I mean, pace of the game, I think we see this a bit with Navi. They're looking to play the lanes and not going all in for these kills. They're just happy to kind of secure their farm. Is there going to be any big first moves, do you think? Like, is the forward position Tusk looking to make some early rotations, or are we just happy with how things are going?
If anybody was going to make a move, it would be this Tusk, for sure. But I don't think... I think this is going to be a fairly static laning phase. Maybe Tusk ends up going bottom at some point. I think that's the only place that Slayer can actually pick up kills.
Yep. Yeah, he's got the Snowball tag team already up. He's got the urn queued up. Definitely a good game for Spirit Vessel whenever you're playing against Timbersaw. And we'll see back in the mid lane, Lina trying to deal with some of these treants. Nature's Prophet, not in lane, is back at base healing up, using that double TP to just constantly bring out items and be full health, full mana. Isn't doing the best against the Lina. Only 11 last hits to the 19 of Lina. Quite a few denies, some of which are probably treants, so it's probably a little bit inflated on the deny side. But
Timber is 39% win rate this month. And this month is essentially most of Europe.
Okay, this is just in this tournament though, right? Yeah, it looks like, yeah, so.
I can check this week too.
It definitely hasn't looked good at when we've seen it. We've seen a few teams pick it. It hasn't been running over games like it used to be. Like Funnick, his Timbersaw comes to mind, where it feels like teams have just figured out how to deal with this hero very well.
Yeah, but the most picked hero this week is Grimstroke, in fact. Grimstroke occupies some weird zone where teams don't really ban it, but it does feel very good.
Yeah.
Oh, top.
There's first blood. It's going to be Pasha going down to Misha, the Grimstroke you mentioned. Yeah, all about the Inkswell with Grimstroke, it feels like. Everyone's kind of understanding how strong this spell is and how to use it better and better.
I mean, I think you picked this Tidehunter to counter the Lycan, but you already gave a first blood to it. And the Timbersaw is doing... Oh, dude, he's going to go for them all. Oh, never mind. This time it's the other way.
They got 3. Yeah. No. Immersion needs to be a little bit careful not to mess with Ilias. It's a 5-position Death Prophet, and there's a lot of potential damage up with the Inkswell on the Lycan Wolf. Insta-Kraken, though. Pasha with some fortunate timing on that one. As Ilias is going to rotate up top, so it's Death Prophet coming up top. It's always, if you're going to get kills, it's going to be around the Tusk if you're Navi. So instead of Tusk rotating, they're going to rotate towards the Tusk and look to bring down Misha here. They go in 2 Hero Silence with a Spirit Siphon and Misha. Yeah, he knows he's worth it.
Yeah, Magical gets the last hit for it, but...
If Monkey King can still lane bottom, it's probably fine, but maybe that's kind of the question. Back at mid, there is a Laguna Blade, Magical. Trying to get back to safety. It doesn't look like Urgon's going to be able to get an LSA, and there's going to be a rotation in from Slayer. Another Dragon Slave coming out. Urgon a bit low on mana. And it does look like Immersion is going to go down to 1 or 2 more right click, but Nature's Prophet couldn't keep up. Surprised Immersion got away from the Nature's Prophet there. Slayer not going to get hit. Oh my god, he dodged the Dragon Slave and the Swashbuckle. And now Magical, he's going to TP in forward. He wants this rune. The double damage is picked up, and he's coming back for Urgon with a rotation from Monkey King. Monkey King's on the way. Urgon is in all sorts of trouble. The Boundless Strike, is it going to reach in time? It's not going to get the cast. I believe they didn't quite see the TP in time, and it probably was out of range. Whew. Close shave.
That just was a weird symphony of nothing. Yeah. Like, a lot happened, but nothing really ended. Yeah.
A lot, but not a lot.
And we saw the rotation of the Tusk and the Death Prophet up here. They must think that the Monkey is fighting against the Timber, and they would be correct. Yes. Timbersaw is level 5 now, though. This is usually the zone where he's okay at laning. And once he hits 6, he's perfectly fine against the Monkey King. In fact, you can get some pressure going.
Definitely, yeah, not a scenario where he should be dying solo to Monkey King, but it looks like a TP from Nature's Prophet back to base once again. Possibly going to TP back out to lane. We'll see if there's any movements to these side lanes, or if Magical's just happy to keep playing the farm game. It does feel like this mid Nature's Prophet's like this very greedy style where you're just constantly getting these early game items and levels before you make those rotations.
He doesn't really have anywhere to rotate to. Is the thing. Like Timbersaw, he does literally nothing against, unless like he pops his ulti and Tusk is there or something like that. but he can't really lock him in or anything like that. But he can push. That is one thing.
He does just that, and then Immersion does show up. The Tusk with an iShots tag team, they might have this kill. Nature's Prophet didn't chase, but Elias is there. He's like, yeah, we got this one. Spirit Siphon tag team, no problem. Like, support kill and a tier 1 tower. He definitely can push. We're seeing that here.
Yeah, this is what they need to do. They need to put pressure on the map. And he went Vlad's no boots. Pretty nice. I'm actually kind of a fan of this. I feel like he needs teamfight items. And they rotated towards bottom to avoid and take a tower of their own. They might even debate just going for 2 here. I would like to see the Tidehunter run towards mid though with his ultimate when he does decide to get it.
Navi is smoked up. They want this magical kill. They don't, I mean, they theoretically have an okay, yeah, that's it. They should have initiation here. They've got the Boundless Strike if needed. The Tusk goes in as well. Urgon in all sorts of trouble. He's trying to turn and get some kills on his way out, and he'll get one with the Tusk going down. Old Afterlife rotating in on the Timbersaw, so leaving the Lycan alone bottom, who's already taken that tier 1 tower. A 1-for-1 trade in mid.
So both cores have space now, but that's almost a Necrobook 3. As Crystallize gets stunned up, but I think he's got this one easy.
Yep. One more right click, gets the kill. Bonk. Definitely a good start for the Monkey King. Even better start for Jirach's Lycan. He used ultimate at some point. I don't think we saw that one. I don't think he got a kill off of it. But he's top of the net worth, having a free lane up top, and then he's rotated bottom, taking a tier 1 tower, taking over the jungle, doing all the right moves as a Lycan. Do you feel like this is the kind of game that Lycan can run over with this kind of a start?
Yeah, as long as they play the pace right. Like, the entire point of your lineup versus their lineup is your lineup has no cooldowns, really. Like, your longest cooldown that you have to worry about right now is, like, Pango ulti. Everything else allows you to just, like, fight non-stop, pretty much. And even Pango ulti, like, Rolling Thunder 70 seconds.
Yep.
It feels like nothing. Lina is, like, a very, very low cooldown hero. She's also got, like, a 70-second Laguna Blade, but she can just fight because she has 2 nukes.
Alright, well, outpost coming up. It looks like Team Spirit gonna make sure they secure one of the 2 with the rotation down bottom. And they should be able to get at least 2 of the 4 bounty runes. Maybe even more, but it doesn't look like Lina wants to go towards the top ones.
Like, this Lycan is gonna hit level... Or he's gonna get Necrobook 3 and then just try to run over them. And every single time Navi pops their big ultis, he's just gonna go for it again.
TP back in, Timbersaw has the Crawling Blades get out of the Sprout and will attempt to chain out. They managed to cancel it perfectly, but the Ice Shot's not gonna land, and with the Inkswell placed on top, they were going to be okay. Elias is going to go down the Lycan rotation with the Shapeshift, but doesn't want to commit too hard for this one. I think understanding that Navi playing defensively around this town, they're going to TP in the Tidehunter. They've got Ravage here. Pasha reveals himself instantly though, so if you're Spirit, you're thinking, okay, Tide's here, let's just back off. Let's go to another lane. You kind of
going to suicide the Wolves in, but it's a free deny.
Yeah.
And this Lycan is still having, like, the sickest game. Yep. Pretty much has book 3 at 11 minutes. Cool.
That's pretty fast. They're hunting him though. They know Shapeshift was used, so past this outpost, not getting scouted yet, and they hunt the tree line. So now they're going to see him as the smoke breaks through, and instantly snowballing with 2 heroes. The strips get there, has an install something erratic, whether the sound comes out of catch that, but before the install is used, so like he gets slowed down into taxi. The rapid trouble gets sprouted instantly, blows his way out, but still goes down. Great move from Navi.
Very, very good move. And now you probably want to take this tower. I think at least Magical can stick around and pressure it. So Immersion's already down here. Maybe with his teammates getting a little bit low, this won't be a thing.
We'll see if they commit to this one. They've got level 6 on Death Prophet now, so despite being a 5 position, there is an Exorcism in play. So they're going to just fall back, take the outposts, and be happy with it.
The 0, 2, 3, 5 position Death Prophet. I like it.
Ah, yeah, I mean, Crypt Swarm, not something you typically need if you're a 5 position, I guess. We've seen this early silence come into play a few times in these engagements.
It's actually pretty handy when you level it that much, this early on. Like, it's pretty unexpected.
Yeah. It's a pretty long duration silence in an AoE, so... Yep. Coming in is this Team Spirit. They're going to find Slayer. Snowball dodges the Inkswell stun, but still in some trouble. But the TP's out. He may survive this one. The Chakram damage is going to help bring him down. Immersion getting the last hit. Pasha now in some trouble himself.
Oh, he missed the first ball.
Yep. Gets him with the second, though. They're going to find Ilias as well on the Death Prophet, and that may be what they need to get this kill. There's going to be a two-man Ravage here. Magical trying to get some follow-up damage, but Pasha did not really have any kind of kill opportunity there. The Soulbind going to catch up both of them as well, and this is looking terrible for Navi. Crystallize rotates in, needs to start regenning up. He's inside his Wukong's command, but he's getting so damn freaking low. Jirach is committed for this one. He's over-committed for this one. He dies in order to get the Monkey King kill, but his teammates will clean up. Old Afterlife gets another, and they're going to take out the Tidehunter to complete the team wipe as Tusk has respawned, gotten a revenge kill, may now die a second time, trying to get rid of the silence, gets caught by the Inkswell stun, a couple more right clicks with a Timber Chain.
Just spawned.
Whew. Triple kill for Afterlife.
So that's a 6-man wipe, I think, or something?
Yeah.
Wait, yeah.
Tusk died twice.
Tusk died twice. So they got 6 kills for 2 right there. Fantastic trade. Ooh.
Team Spirit looking good here. They did lose Lycan, who is kind of their most valuable and highest net worth hero, of course.
Sure, but you'll take that trade every single time.
Yep.
And you'll notice 2 things about that. Is like, one, they took a fight on Navi's side of the map, which I think is really important at all times to do. And 2, now that the Ravage is down, like, you can do whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with having these like high cooldown abilities against heroes like Lycan, is they could go into Roshan, they could go push out this tier 2 bottom. Like, all the possibilities are endless right now.
Yeah, instantly you see Team Spirit have several heroes go right back to that Radiant jungle, knowing they're in a fairly safe position. Ergon back at mid has that Yule Scepter, but didn't want to commit for Slayer, but perhaps Timbersaw will. Forces out a Snowball. It's going to be on a creep, though, so I think Old Afterlife thought the Snowball was coming towards him, but it was nicely placed on a creep. Nice Timber Chain, finds the perfect tree, tips Slayer on his way out. Could be in some trouble. He may have overcommitted. He may be regretting that tip fairly soon, but Immersion is there with the Rolling Thunder onto 2 heroes. Gets a third now as well. There's going to be a Lina rotation as well, and the Tide getting very, very low. Luckily, there's a Sprout to block any kind of chase.
He will never regret the tip.
If he died there?
Yes. And he even got a bounty rune. Look at that.
Nice. Well, looks like the 15-minute bounty rune is going to be claimed, 3 of which by Team Spirit. And they continue to play this fast-paced game. We'll be seeing Ravage coming back up fairly soon, which is what Navi kind of have to play around.
This is what I meant by you don't want to play around long cooldowns against really short cooldown heroes. Is inherently you're just at their mercy. They're going to keep making plays around the map nonstop, while you sort of have to play this really defensive playstyle. They're going to get a kill here.
A solo Ravage onto Ergon's Lina. He's not dead yet. He's still got bottle charges.
Oh, he's okay.
Juking. Yeah, he's surviving currently. He's going to LSA through some trees, finds a way a little bit further into the jungle. Ergon still in some trouble. The Tidehunter's been stunned up again, though. Now the Silence come into play, and Ergon, he's just going to turn and fight. The Silence on the Tide, he can't get rid of it. The Phantom proven to be too much, and elsewhere, Ilias goes down as well to the Lycan. So, a disaster for Navi, committing a Ravage.
And they thought it was going to be a solo kill on the Nature's Prophet. Might have died, but then they get the Ravage off, and all of a sudden everything changes. But again, you've wasted Ravage. This usually just means like another objective is going to get taken. He actually went back for the drums, really all-inning on this like mid-game.
I like this. I think we've seen this more and more. I know like Matu was doing this when he was playing his Brood. It's so much attack speed. When you activate, it's 55 attack speed. So when you have all these summons, it just kind of like overwhelms towers and enemy heroes.
Yeah, I think this Roshan is very free. This top tower might get denied or something like that, but you don't have Ravage. I guess you do have Wukongs. I don't know if he knows for sure it's up or anything like that.
Crystallize may go jumping in to scout things out. Still some trees around the pit, but you've got to be careful when you're playing against the Timber so you can cut them down. Crystallize going to bound the strike, but here comes the Rolling Thunder.
Oh, this is a great Rolling Thunder.
Yep, he's completely kept them away from the pit while the rest of Team Spirit secure. Roshan gets a nice swashbuckle onto 3, but here comes the Wukong's command. If you're Spirit, you're just looking to disengage. They Quelling Blade to help Immersion get out of the Sprout, but he still ends up going down. Laguna Blade on the backside catches out Pasha. So
they're going to wait this out and go.
And yeah, they want to chase Ergon. He's going to be going in there. He's probably going to Yule Scepter fairly soon as well. The X-Fall Sun is going to be more than enough to catch Magical. Sets up the LSA, and Team Spirit, with a 6k gold lead, now have an Aegis advantage as well.
And they bottle another bounty rune. Dude, I think he actually like shoveled 2 bounty runes in like 3 digs or something like that. That's pretty sick.
It's pretty sick when you have the bottle too. It's a normally you think of like refilling that bottle, you need to find a power rune or a 5-minute bounty, but that shovel
allows his Lina to be really active on the map, and we're starting to see like why Grimstroke is also really good against
opposite drop.
Aegis.
Yeah, it's Aegis on the Lina. The shapeshift being used with the Soulbind, and Team Spirit watch their like and die. That's an unfortunate misplay. You really don't want to get caught out there right after you just kind of won a fight and took Aegis.
Yeah, 100%. They didn't even have to use Ravage or anything like that for that engagement. All they have to do at this point is stick together and take fights as a group. But yeah, Grimstroke Phantom versus Tidehunter, it's one of like the few things that don't get dispelled.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He still physically has to hit it off, which I think is pretty cool, right?
Oh yeah. It's nice that there are those ways you can play around Tide.
Dire's
It's starting to look that way. Emergent can't get the Rolling Thunder off immediately. Still finds a way to get it off, but oh! Awkward. Traps himself on the staircase.
Random ass staircase. They should really just be together right now and not feel like they have to make these like aggressive moves. Because all you're doing really is giving Navi a chance back into this game.
Yep. Well, you can see there, they built up a sizable net worth lead. Still sitting around 5k gold and a decent chunk of even bigger size of experience. And the win chance favoring Team Spirit here, 19 minutes in. As we'll see what their next move is. Like you mentioned, it does feel like they need to just be sticking together. You've got an Aegis and you just lost 2 heroes back to back, your carry and your forward position unnecessarily. So they're going to smoke up. Here we go. Here's the team play we're looking for from Team Spirit. As 20-minute mark approaches, the outpost is going to be what they look to contest. Urgon runs in with the Yule Scepter. Sets up on the Tusk, doesn't get the LSA because there's an interrupt, and here comes Navi. They're going to take the Aegis for nothing, and Lena's trapped in the Wukong
She's so out of position now.
What can she do here? They're going to shapeshift. Emergent wants to go with the Rolling Thunder, but Urgon may just die before he can use any spells here. There's going to throw out a Ravage, which catches out most of Team Spirit. The Lycan coming with the shapeshift and gets caught by a clumsy net. They've lost the Wukong command, which means they've now lost the Monkey King as well, and Ravage being committed, so it looks like Navi just out of gas here as they're in full retreat mode. Luckily for Spirit is they had enough threats here that even with the Lina down, the Lycan, the Timbersaw, able to clean up the fight as the TP out from Slayer not going to be interrupted. So they still win the fight, even if it wasn't convincing on the side of Team Spirit.
That Ravage was not that good though. He used it as pretty much everybody was fanned out, and Crystallize doesn't want to leave his ring. So it might have caught like 4 heroes, but they had no follow-up damage on it at all.
We'll see it again here. It was a nice boundless strike to stop Urgon getting this.
I mean, Urgon
combo.
aggressively used his Yules into 5 heroes.
Yeah. He just ran in unafraid. They even popped down that high ground ward. I'm not sure if he had that before he went in, but...
So he Ravages right here. It doesn't stop the Pango at all, and it catches everybody on the outer edge of the ring, but no one gets caught in the ring itself. And this Pango ball was so smooth. Just kept hitting the Monkey King over and over again, and Crystallize just went down, and all of a sudden you have no damage at all to stop this.
And now they've used Ravage, and here comes Team Spirit. Straight down the mid lane, they take a tier 2 tower for free. They've got Timbers on the front lines taking up with the reactive armor. They've got the Lycan summons. They're just going to go onto the tier 3 tower with Howl, with summons, and that tier 3 tower just melted. Holy crap, that was fast.
This'll come in handy.
Lycan even with the Dragon Scale for some extra damage onto these buildings. But what can Navi do? They're respawning now. Team Spirit, no Aegis, and they've still got ultimates though. Shapeshift has come back up. There's the GG bet odds. Team Spirit favorite now for sure, and with that tier 3 tower going down, you're gonna imagine it's getting more and more in their favor. Magical working on a BKB on his Nature's Prophet. A very early Crystallis. This Lina, I feel like after the last fight you'd be like, yeah, I need a BKB, which I guess is what Urgon's saying with it queued up now and not like turning that Crystallis into a Daedalus or anything just yet. But even going for a Crystallis seems very greedy on Lina.
Yeah, I thought the previous fight would have taught him like the only way that he dies is if he walks up hills and then just gets chain stunned.
Yeah.
But it's okay. He probably has enough time, I would imagine. There's like one more fight that Navi can take. I mean, if Navi messes up like one more fight in this kind of area, I think the game might rapidly just decline for them. They're going to lose 2 sets of racks minimum. Probably going to wait for the next Aegis if you're Team Spirit, or you wait for Navi to commit the Ravage. And again, even if you take a bad fight, if it's on their side of the map, Navi can't really get anything out of it. Their objective taking is... it's okay, but the speed at which they can get there with like the Death Prophet and the Monkey King and the Tidehunter, if you take really aggressive fights on one side of the map, it's early enough game 2 where everyone will respawn in time, which I think is the most important thing.
Yep. So if you're Navi, I mean, you mentioned they don't... they're going to maybe see Monkey King going down. He went for this Death Slayer, doesn't have a good escape, and yeah, he's going to get brought down. Are they looking to then instead take fights on the other side of the map, or do they just have to win like 5 fights to get back in this game because they're trapped on their side? I
think Navi needs like 2 team wipes to be like okay to get it back to like 50-50.
So like get the most out of every Ravage they use kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty much. But we already talked about like how even the most ideal Ravages in this game, it doesn't really combo that well. The best ones you're going to get is if everyone is standing under the Monkey ult. But as long as Team Spirit are like pretty good at not letting that happen.
Yep.
That's literally your upside, is if you catch it on the outer ring, the problem is it forces you out. Like you have to leave the area, as they're going to see that Dyrachyo has popped his ulti. This is going to be pretty good for Navi. Nothing was really lost. Immersion does take a tower by himself. Has to be careful here. Places a ward just in case.
Navi, I think, understood that Magical was being hunted. He escaped and they weren't able to find anything up top, but feels like perhaps Team Spirit's also slowing things down to play around that second Aegis. And also their BKBs, because that's when they're suddenly no longer anywhere near as afraid of this Tidehunter Ravage, which is the big X factor for Navi's team fight and draft.
Once you get BKB on the Lina, you have 2 different heroes that don't get affected by the Ravage at all. You have the Pango. Immersion's been very good at using his ball beforehand.
Yep.
I sometimes hate when Pangos do the really aggressive swashbuckle, and then they try to get it off in the middle of like literally every hero. Then they just die and they're like, surprise!
Yeah, it's like you're not going to be able to just channel that Rolling Thunder when there's stuns and things around you, necessarily.
They have so many things to cancel it. Boundless Strike, Tusk Snowball, Death Prophet Silence, Orchid, Ravage. Like, Immersion has been doing a really good job at making sure his ult gets off above everything else. And I think that's been really important for their team fight. And now they have a BKB. Afterlife probably doesn't care about getting Ravage, so you have like 3 heroes that don't really mind it too much.
Just the Lycan, who's got one queued up now as well. Finish the AC first, so a lot of damage coming out here.
This is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's just going to Rolling Thunder. There's nothing you can do in response. Crystallizes in all sorts of trouble. Going for that greedy Deso build, but Urgon, he's lost his life. He's been blown up to start things off here. Coming in is the Lycan, the stun onto the Tidehunter. They're just going to ignore Pasha for now. He's going to throw out some Anchor Smashes to try and keep his teammates alive. Afterlife on the run with the Spirit Vessel on him. He's going to be a little bit careful. They've traded Monkey King for Lina. Monkey actually buys back though, so I think if Team Spirit can get out, they're going to be okay with this one, but Roche has respawned, so we could see both teams getting for that one. Pasha doesn't get hit by the Timber Chain as it misses. Still in very low health here, as Lycan going to get the kill without the Shapeshift. No problem for him. Slayer's in the front lines just getting melted as well and crystallized. He fought back. This is going to be a dieback from Monkey King. 4 dead as Urgon tipping his buddy. It's not going to be the full team wipe as Nature's Prophet does TP out, just barely. But Team Spirit convincingly win this fight with Monkey King dieback.
Urgon's so greedy. He just walks up with the BKBs. And it's alright though, because Ravage was expended for it.
Yep.
Like, he doesn't care. It doesn't really affect his team at all. And this is going to mean a set of racks minimum. They can probably still go for Roshan after this too.
They may even go for bottom lane if there's no tier 2 tower there to protect the base, so...
Yeah, they know there's no Ravage, so even if the Tidehunter respawns, he does have buyback, but what's the point if the entire team is respawning anyways and your Monkey had already used it?
And hold Afterlife in these fights. 6-0-11, he is just going untouched, shredding through heroes. As all the attention has been on the Lina and the Lycan, it feels like he's had a very free game as a result. And he's just zoning Navi away from any kind of a base defense. Still 15 seconds without the Monkey King, and it does look like Team Spirit are going to try and just secure this Rax here. They pop the Wolves in the Howl. Urgon takes the range Rex here. They're keeping up the melee with the Sprout, but it gets broken by the LSA, and double Rex for Team Spirit. You mentioned it. One bad fight, and they'll get 2 lanes, and that's exactly what they did, Will.
Yeah, so I saw when I was watching the draft, I was like, all right, so you have Lycan. He got picked pretty early, right? I think it was like 3rd pick or something like that. And then your counter to it is to pick like all cooldowns. You have Nature's Prophet, who's like the only non-team fighter in Dota as a core.
Hold that thought. Here comes Team Spirit. They're not giving Navi a second to breathe. And when you're playing against the long cooldowns that you mentioned, this is the perfect way to play Dota. This Tide still doesn't have Ravage for another 7 seconds, and it feels like that last team fight was ages ago. Pasha just being zoned away, but here comes a Snowball. Going to look to initiate.
Actually looks okay for them.
They've got the Soulbind out though. The X's are from the Death Prop. This is a 5 position. They need to blow her up, but they're going to ignore her as Urgon takes out Slayer instead. They're going to avoid the Wukong command. Pasha gets out forward with the Ravage. He finally had to come back up. Afterlife, he misses the Timber Chain out, but he's still so goddamn freaking tanky on the front lines, doing a lot of damage here. And with Urgon's Lina, him and Afterlife are just taking Navi apart. They GG out. It's over. Urgon BKBs for putting the exclamation mark on this win, and too many long cooldowns versus Lycan. That seems to be what you think is the biggest problem here.
I think it's always going to be the biggest problem. I think Grant was actually pretty